Hello and welcome to the Bro Chat for the People podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by a wanted ad. Wanted, a mule named Sal. Looking for a mule named Sal to travel to Buffalo on the Erie Canal. Must be a good old worker and a great old pal. Name is non-negotiable. Let's go.
Do you do it like this every time? Amazing.
Arabella's got some interstellar gator skin boots.
Just finish the album.
And a helter-skelter around a little finger and I ride it in.
All right. Tommy boy.
Pretty sure they could definitely hear us talking during that time, but
That's
hey,
fine.
we're going.
That's the point. You know, Paul asked us to talk during the intro music.
He did say that, actually.
We respond to the people.
We are here with our good friend, Matthew Vicinanzo, friend of the Bro Chat.
Amen.
Dear friend of the Bro Chat.
Dear friend of the Bro Chat. One of the closest friends of the Bro Chat. And, I mean, let's just get right down to the dirty, Thomas. Baseball.
Yeah, this is a debate that we were having
You think
earlier on.
you
No,
think-
like,
you
hold
think
on.
Baseball's fine, and
Hold
I
on.
don't think it is fine.
Hold on. Let's started off this conversation, because we'll just start from the beginning, because we realized it was good podcast material, and we were arguing about it. Mm-hmm. So I suggested that baseball, in order to better its product, should institute some sort of a British Premier League type relegation and promotion, in which like the AAA and the AA and the single A, which it's already perfectly set up for, unlike basketball, which just has the D League. Mm-hmm. It's already perfectly set up for with multiple leagues of increasing and decreasing talent, where the people like make their way up through it. It's already set up, and basically what you would have to do is you would have to make these teams to be their own. Yeah. And it's not owned and like funded by the Red Sox as a farm system.
So they're all independent, you mean?
Yeah, they're all their independent teams. If some of them go out of business, some of them go out of business because their people don't care about them.
Because it's capitalism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is America.
And
But
we shouldn't be supporting failing industries like solar.
Single A baseball.
Solar or GM.
Yeah, the banks.
Citibank.
But, the whole idea is to kind of create a local love for baseball, and which it is the same way that it kind of was for a long time. Like, you might, back in the day, you would follow your team in the newspapers, but you certainly weren't going to the game every day. You weren't watching it every day. You supported your Red Sox, but you also supported the Worcester Tornadoes, who are your local team, and you spent $5 and went over and watched the game.
So is this like a personal thing, Tom?
No!
Like, the Tornadoes should have been pro! Why was I forced? Why was I compelled to root for the Boston Red Sox when I was a proud Worcester Tornado fan at heart?
I'm just a blue-collar kid from Worcester.
You guys jest.
But
what would happen if the Worcester Tornadoes or the Manchester Monarchs or whatever their Fisher Cats is the baseball team? If they essentially got through AA, single A, AA, AAA, and then managed to make it to the big leagues,
like Leicester City.
Yeah, like Leicester City or like Bournemouth or a number of other teams that have come and gone from the Premier League.
Newcastle United.
However, this is one proviso. I don't think it should be
proviso. Nice.
Thank you.
Sorry.
We still need championships.
Yeah.
So maybe it's one team who gets relegated. One team doesn't. Like the team who wins the championship from the AA or AAA would move forward,
to the AAA and so forth.
And one team would drop out, not having three teams.
Not having the Premier League system in which just the top scoring team.
Yeah, I don't. That wouldn't work in America. Having no championship, it shouldn't work anywhere. This is my biggest gripe with the British Premier League is the fact they don't have a championship. Even the Champions League was like, actually, we need a championship. Maybe we'll just take the champion.
More fun because
it is more fun because you got rounds in a tournament,
and
a championship,
and teams from all different leagues. But that's different.
Or for those of us from the United States, where we don't necessarily, I mean, many of us from the United States have a European team. I myself am a lifelong Arsenal fan for the last 3 months, as I mentioned.
For the last.
But so we have our European teams that we live and die by, like myself.
Yeah, I mean, I'd kill somebody for Liverpool.
Oh, are you a Liverpool fan?
Liverpool fan, yeah.
I had no idea you would take someone's life on behalf of them, but it makes sense now that you say it. Now that you let me know that you're a lifelong. And
I'm a huge Napoli fan. Just
Napoli?
because of FIFA. And I was nice with them.
I was going to say Mike.
Yeah, Mike Napoli was great for us during the 13 series run. Wasn't he the first to grow his beard and shave his head?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that was Johnny Gomes, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think maybe
They
simultaneously.
were best buds, dude.
Yeah.
Napoli was better than Johnny Gomes, so Johnny Gomes had to grow a bigger beard to compensate, to add more value to the team.
But anyway, getting back, this is basically the crux of my argument is if you create a local connection more so than you have, because you have 30 teams throughout the entire country. I mean, how many huge cities do not have any kind of representation? Like you're in Omaha. Like who do you root for if you're from Omaha?
Omaha is a huge city.
I mean,
It's
it's a big
Hey,
city.
you can have a baseball.
It's
I'm
the
not
biggest
talking New
city
York
around.
City big. It is the biggest city. Like, I don't even know who do you root for if you're from Omaha.
Like, who do you root for if you're from Bozeman, Montana?
I don't know.
Cody, Wyoming.
I don't know, but that's the thing.
Portland. Hey, I would say this: Portland doesn't have a baseball team. Austin, Texas doesn't have a baseball team. San Antonio doesn't have a baseball team.
See exactly, but I just picked a random city that I knew didn't have a baseball team. Omaha's like the home of the College Baseball World Series. Like they love baseball over there,
But
they don't have a team.
Couple topics that can I propose to table for later in this podcast?
Sure.
Just so people can, before they start losing interest, if they're not big time Premier League proposal fans applied to the Major League Baseball, Las Vegas sports and Oakland Raiders. And number 2, I want to vent about the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. Just for a bit, but it has nothing to do with specifically like the Fisher Cats roster this year, I
couldn't name one person on it.
It's a very fluid thing.
But you don't think that would help baseball? You don't think that would in some ways fix baseball? Because I think the MLB product is the problem.
All right, so what you're proposing, let me get this straight, Tom, is if this is like a concrete proposal, and if was it Rob Manfred, the commissioner?
Yeah.
I wanted to say almost a Bud Selig. I think it takes like 5 or 6 years for us to actually learn who the major league. You have a 5 or 6 year grace period.
Yeah, seriously.
Because we had
Not
Bud
if Roger
Selig for
Goodell
most of-
leaves. I'll know immediately when he's gone.
Yeah. And
He will be heavily vetted, but we'll see.
he can't be worse, right? Anyway, Goodell's successor. Anyway.
So your concrete proposal here for Mr. Manfred is Major League Baseball operates on a Premier League system. You have 30 baseball teams right now,
You
30
notice
Major
how
League
he
teams.
says Premier League instead of Premier League?
Well, I'm European.
Because he's European. Premier League.
When you're a lifelong Arsenal fan, like
They're
me.
at the top of the table.
Oh, if only. How was Alexis Sanchez this year?
He didn't bring us the Premier League championship. I'll tell you that much. I'm kind of a big real expert. So
we didn't win this year.
you heard it here. And so you got 30 MLB teams. One cycles out, one cycles in from AAA. Do you think that's enough?
The one issue, like I said before, is the championship thing. So I don't know, is it worth having a championship if like both teams make it?
What do you mean?
Like if in AAA, there's a championship in AAA.
Well,
Maybe you just don't have the championships for them.
I think you only have the championship in the top league.
Well,
And then you can do the Premier League thing where the best team is the champion of AAA or the best team is the champion of AA.
Yeah, I suppose you'd like if
But then
you
have the
could
World
still
Series for the
well,
the majors.
because another big thing here is it would disqualify the draft, so there wouldn't be tanking. There would be no
There
point.
is no tanking.
there's no tanking in
anyway.
baseball.
No, but
There's no crying in baseball. There's no tanking in baseball.
there's
There's no drinking beer and eating fried chicken in baseball anymore.
That was a sacred pastime.
but I mean like just
Josh Beckett ruined it.
you can't just sit at the bottom of the league and just get the top draft picks like Tampa Bay did for years and years. and then just suddenly become good.
And then they became
And
good
then for no money,
4 years
they
or
made it to the
something.
World Series.
Yeah, for no money. Just like, hey, that's what the Marlins did a couple times. 97 and 2003.
And then they sell off their entire team because all they care about is money.
And then the Red Sox,
Which is
buy
another
They don't
issue.
actually make that much either.
The owner did,
Okay, fair.
which is who cares about it, making money for the team.
That's true. But okay, let's say this. But is that actually a good business model? Because the Red Sox are a far more valuable team than the Miami Marlins.
But they're never going to be the Boston Red Sox.
Why couldn't they be the
Because
Boston Red
they're
Sox?
from Florida.
Okay.
If they're bad for 1 year, their revenues are gonna drop by 600%.
Well, then don't be bad for 1 year.
There's nothing you can do about it. In
There
baseball,
is
you're
something
gonna.
you can do about that. The Red Sox were good from 96 to 2013.
So then the Florida
12.
Marlins go back out of business. If they were, in their place,
No, but
the
if they
Marlins
were
go out of
good- if they
business
were
in
good for 15
2013.
years in a row. And
I don't
then
know.
They had one bad year.
I don't know.
you're-
Look what happened to the Hurricanes. No one cares about them. They literally won 1 million championships. Well, not really, but
If I
they
were-
had a solid run, and now they
okay,
literally
let's-
can't.
okay,
No
maybe
one will
Florida's
go.
a bad example because Florida fans.
Well,
are
that's what
terrible.
I'm saying.
Okay.
That was my response to your argument.
Well,
about
what you have,
Florida- the
what you have to
Florida
do
Marlins.
if you're the Miami Marlins, going back a couple years, you're the Florida Marlins, and you've never won the World Series, right?
So 96.
We'll say this is right before. This is
Right when they
this is
expanded into the
this is
league.
2012 or 2011.
They've won 2 by this point. What are you talking about? Florida
Okay,
Marlins
so
won in
you're the
96.
Florida
They won with, like,
Marlins,
Josh
and you
Bucket.
haven't won in 10 years. Yeah, no, sorry. Of course, Josh Beckett carried the team, and
Edgar
then
Renteria.
they sold him to Boston a couple years later, and he beat the Yankees. That was great. 2003, I loved Josh Beckett, and all of Boston probably loved Josh Beckett because we were still drying the tears after
were
Aaron
all like,
Boone's extra inning
"Underdogs."
home run off
Yeah.
Tim Wakefield, and
Timmy.
we
Grady
wanted
Little leaving Pedro in too long.
we wanted nothing more than to see the Yankees
Grady Little, man. That's a name you haven't heard in baseball.
be
in a long
punished,
time.
being punished for
Is he
inflicting
still
such
alive?
pain in
Is
our.
Grady Little still alive?
I don't
Did
care.
you ever hear Grady Little do a post game interview?
I
Like, did you ever hear his voice?
I
don't
assume I
remember.
did. I won't remember.
Let me do my best impersonation here because they always caught me off guard.
Matt, our resident impersonation guy.
Well, there, we got the team out there, and we got Todd Walker at second base, and get hit for some power. Thank you, guys.
Is he from Texas?
He was like from he was
The name
from
like
like
Grady
the
Little
bottom
probably.
of the bottom of a
Whiskey barrel?
barbecue pit in Texas. I think it was.
He was created from the ashes.
He had like the heaviest, deepest
Oh, that's funny.
Texas accent.
But what I mean, so what is? You, so
Look,
you're not.
I'm not necessarily against your idea, Tom.
You just don't think this would fix it.
It could. I would say that we don't have to take such drastic measures, though, in creating a whole new Major League Baseball system.
But wouldn't it be fun?
Sure, maybe.
And since Rob Manfred's never going to hear this, this is more fun.
Listen, I'll text him. I'll text him after here if you can put together a solid proposal. So, go just like building on constructing this because I'm really interested in the plan and I'm already outlining it here on my iPad. The Excel sheet that I'm about to forward to Bobby Man. Would you so you keep the AAA framework in place? You keep the AA framework, single A, and there's different
Independent
leagues.
yeah.
of single A.
All
So
those are
all-
those ones are already
they're all
independent,
fair
and they
game.
already get picked.
And then like Uncle Butch's adult softball league, like potentially could move up the ladder
Hey.
to single A, double A, Leicester City status.
Hey, if they're good enough. I mean, local Butch's softball team can hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. I mean, why not?
Well, yeah, they would have to make it from their softball league up through various levels of
But
independent ball.
who's gonna take them up from their softball league?
What do you mean?
We saw this Uncle Butch's softball league's really good, or softball team's really good. Let's switch him with the single A, Lowell Spinners.
It's not about talent. It's not about youth. It's not about athleticism. It's about how a team works together and enjoys games.
I think baseball is all about youth these days.
Okay.
Did you guys like that segue?
Yeah.
Is that like a Bryce Harper reference or?
No, he just thinks little kids don't like that.
I think Bryce Harper is a tool, but I do kind of agree with him with his hat that he wears that says "Make Baseball Fun Again."
I see.
But first, you've got the problem of ticket prices. Back in the day, you could take your wife and your 4 kids to a game and not have it, take it just a huge chunk out of your.
I wish my wife would still go to the games with me. I wish she hadn't taken the kids too.
And the dog. She knew I loved that dog more than her. Anyway.
I still see her at the games, which makes it all the harder.
But you could go to these games. You could take the family out for a nice Sunday afternoon baseball game at Fenway without breaking the bank. You can't do that anymore.
Well,
Fenway is Fenway, dude.
You can never really do that in our lifetime.
Hence, the Worcester Tornadoes as a more viable option. Or the Manchester Fisher Cats.
Wait, are the Worcester Tornadoes?
Who cares about what 6-year-old kid knows about the quality of play of baseball?
Fine.
The guys playing the Worcester Tornadoes aren't scrubs.
I'll tell you which 6-year-old kid, the one who has promise. the one who's looking in, researching the game, who knows that when you got a hit to the gap in right field, that the second baseman's the one taking the cutoff. That's the kind of 6-year-old kid. You can tell the difference between the Boston Red Sox and the Worcester Tornadoes. And are the Worcester Tornadoes, are they a real team or did you just make them up?
No, they're a real team.
I've never seen the Worcester Tornado Stadium. Do they
Who
play
do
at
they
Holy
play?
Cross?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Who do they play for? What are they, like a college ball summer league? Or?
No, I'm not actually sure. I think they might be a single A team.
I'm going to look it up because this is like the biggest plug they've ever received in media in the history of the Worcester
They're
Tornadoes.
worse than the Holy Cross baseball team.
Well,
anyway, problem number 2.
All right, let me just spell Worcester into Google here. Oh, shoot.
WOOSTER.
Yeah, no, first try.
Nice, man.
As in addition to being European,
Worcester.
I'm also a native New England.
Worcester. But
It's both from England and New England.
Oh, wow.
games are too slow and too long, unfortunately, for the youth these days. And the season is definitely too long.
Is that baseball's fault or is that parenting's fault? And TV's fault?
It might be football's fault.
Oh, dude.
The short attention span is not a
Okay, so bad news.
Football.
Bad news.
They're an independent, Paul?
No, they've been disbanded.
Since when?
2012.
Ever since you moved down here.
They're like, we lost our only season ticket holder.
Tom was the only season
And
ticket
the
holder.
owner was like keeping them alive because he's like, if there is just one fan in the city of Worcester who still roots for the Tornadoes, I will support this team. And then he just canceled his subscription, and there was like no word about it. He had no idea what he was doing. All these guys are out of jobs, and they're on the Massachusetts welfare system now.
Way to go, Tom.
Capitalism at its finest, my friends.
Oh yeah, the Massachusetts welfare system.
All right, and so the Worcester Tornadoes, they were founded in 2005, and they were part.
They only were there for 7 years.
I was pretty excited when they got the team. Okay.
Okay, and so the
2005. I mean, that's when the height of your baseball career.
So the Tornadoes played in the Canadian American Association, so the Can-Am League,
Yeah.
which was also the same league as the Nashua
Nashville
Pride.
Pride, yeah.
Yeah, which had
Which
a lot
Brian Daubach was a manager of.
Oh yeah, and Butch Hobson.
I don't know.
What you're not
That's what Grady Little's doing right now.
some Pride fan, some pride you have in the Nashua team.
No, I was a Concord Quarry Dogs guy.
Oh dude, now they were
the college summer league.
the Quarry Dogs. Yeah, they were New England College Baseball League, NECBL, and they were. Players from various colleges would just play summer ball.
They just play at Memorial Field. Tickets were $1 a piece.
Oh yeah,
It was great stuff.
that was back in our heyday before the country all moved south.
Back before we cared about the quality of play. But anyway, they should just cut out April from the entire month of April from the baseball season and have opening day be May 1st instead of April 1st.
Why?
Well, you saw what happened in Cleveland this year. We had to cancel a game because it was too cold.
So that's a reason to move the entire season.
No, the other
because something happened in Cleveland.
It rained in April. We're never doing this again.
The actual reason is because the season is too long and they need to cut the game.
Why is
the season down? By
what's the difference
games.
between 160 games and 140 games?
It's a whole month is the difference.
Well, that's just a month that you don't have something going on what is that? Literally makes no difference to somebody who thinks the season is too long, having it go from 160 to 140.
Well, what would the difference be? Go from 162 to 81.
Going from people think that the hockey season's too long and the basketball season's too long.
They only think that because of the playoffs, though, not because of the regular season.
Look, those are meant to not. No one's supposed to care that much about the regular season.
Which is a problem with baseball, don't you think?
Well, they don't care about it in basketball or hockey either.
Of course you care about it. The Celtics lost because they didn't have the 3 seed. They only had the 5 seed. And Avery Bradley got hurt. And Kelly Olynyk got hurt.
Wait, so Tom,
you can't shorten it enough for the season. You can if you had a 10-game season or a 20-game season,
like football.
But that's not a good thing for baseball.
That's not a good thing.
Baseball is
Absolutely not.
one of 2 sports I think that even justifies having like a 7-game series rather than just a single game.
Also,
because it's so the best team only wins, 2/3 of the time.
What's the other sport? Hockey?
Yeah.
What about basketball?
Basketball, I think the difference between the good teams and the bad teams, the majority of the time, I still think the good teams would win in a 1-game series. Like if the Spurs played the Thunder 1 game, that's it. The Spurs will win.
It's not like March Madness.
Yeah,
and even though March Madness, the majority of the time, the better team still wins technically. But
I don't even know about hockey necessarily. Well, hockey's such
hockey's kind of an
because it's such a low scoring game. It's a couple bounces here or there that determines the game. You could say that would be a good reason for the 7-game series.
Just the other year, the Kings were the 8th seed, and they were not a good team, and they won the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, all right. Well, I think I'm with you. I don't know about 1 game for basketball.
That would never happen.
That's insane.
Well, it would never happen because there's no money in it.
Well,
more money for 7 games.
It should be 5-game series instead of 7 games.
I was going to say 5-game might be more reasonable.
And then should be 5 games, and then the conference finals and the championship should be 7 games.
Yeah, well, that's reasonable. That's perfectly reasonable, I think. Baseball, they don't even have 7 games in the first series.
And they only have
3 series
or
total.
Playoffs or whatever.
And so you have 3 series total. The first one's best of 5, and people complain to no end about how long baseball playoffs go. Which to me
only a month.
Is crazy because basketball and hockey are twice as long.
Yeah.
And that's what's wrong with America today.
No, I would say the other point about baseball that I have is that playoff baseball is often played. Games start at 9, and it's during the school year, and so you don't have young people staying up to watch baseball games. There's plenty of playoff drama. There's
playoff
baseball is incredible.
Oh, okay. So,
but the youth aren't going to watch the games because they have to stay up till midnight or 1 to watch them.
Okay, well, is that a problem?
If you're on the East Coast.
Is that a problem? Well, most of the good kids are raised on the East Coast. The kids who are the depth of personality and maturity to appreciate the game of baseball, like the 6-year-olds who I was referencing before.
The level of self-loathing required in baseball.
90% of the 6-year-olds that I was talking about live on the East Coast, and not in Florida either. Anyway,
East Coast, north of Florida.
Okay, well, let me ask you that. So, Dan, you made an interesting point just a second ago and said that the games go too late, and so it's alienating, it's cutting off the youth because they're...
Well, just look at it this way. Jack and Francis, our own brothers, who are huge baseball fans, they ask me every night if the Red Sox are playing, and then they'll watch their game with me.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't watch the whole game if it's a 8 o'clock start because Mom sends them to bed at 9:30.
Yeah, but this is my question for you. Is that a problem with Major League
your kids
Baseball?
Didn't have bedtimes.
They usually don't.
How many kids do you have? No, wait a second. Is that a problem?
One is 13, so he's a hassle, especially when I'm only 23. It's weird.
I can't believe the state let you adopt at that age. So, is that a problem?
I'm a baseball fan.
The problem of the late start in baseball games.
He was one of those 6-year-olds, mature beyond his years.
Oh, absolutely. I'll tell you, he knew how long it took to warm up in the bullpen before he could bring in that setup man.
That's true.
And he knew you don't throw the gas in the bullpen or any of the junk. You just straight up loosen up that arm and you let it all play out on the mound.
When you need a pitch to really put somebody away, you press X. You hold down X and toggle the left controller bar, and you throw 800 miles an hour to get that out that you need. Sorry, that's Jack, actually.
And you were that 6-year-old who realized that the biggest limiting factor in playing T-ball was that you could never brush someone off the plate with a little chin music.
A little chin music!
Okay, going back to my point. You talked about the problem of late starting games.
Yeah.
My question for you, Tom, Dan, for the American people, is that a problem with baseball or is that a problem with parenting in this country?
This is the thing we keep coming back to.
We've had 2 of these tonight. Tom asked that. Maddie asked that now. Is it a problem with baseball or is it a problem with parenting? Look, it just seems to be baseball,
adding up. We're just figuring this out just now.
Baseball has created a product that appeals to older, more affluent people. And in that way, they are alienating the younger generation. And in that way, they are alienating the younger generation. I don't know if that caught that.
Stop alienating the younger generation. All you adult listeners.
What? Do you guys disagree?
Because ticket prices are too high at Fenway.
At most baseball stadiums.
Well, that's capitalism. And if you introduced a system that Tom proposes, you have capitalism.
And I didn't say I disagreed with Tom's
No.
point.
So here's the problem.
Why don't we do both?
Here's the problem. You have a capitalist price system for Major League Baseball tickets. But you have a closed market where only 32 teams are allowed to operate. 30 teams are allowed to operate. Yeah. So they have a monopoly on relevant baseball. And teams like the Worcester Tornadoes, who, if they were allowed to advance, surely would be one of the top teams in America today, with the support of loyal fans like Tom and Dennis Leary. And
there you have
Greg McCulloch.
So what we've found out here is your complaints and what you think are solved by my
Well, that's the thing. It goes back to economics. If you want to have a capitalist system, you got to go all the way. You can't go halfway, and that is the problem. That's a problem with America today.
Jeez.
We have a capitalist system that only favors
the United States
the winners
and economy,
the ones who are already on the top, like the big banks. We got a winners club.
His cadence became Bernie Sanders.
We've got a winners club, and if you're part of the club, then take up full advantage of capitalism. But if you're not in the club, then you just have to take it from capitalism. And that's what's wrong with America today. And that's what's wrong with baseball.
Look, I think we can look.
And we need to free baseball and free America.
That's a wonderful point, Matt, and a wonderful speech. But I think we can all agree, all three of us can agree, that the younger generation, and the numbers don't lie, baseball is not nearly as popular with the younger generation as it used to be.
Well, maybe that's a problem with the younger generation.
And parenting.
Stop blaming millennials.
You're blaming baseball. I still love baseball.
I still love baseball
because
too.
I was raised right.
No, Matt, I understand.
On the East Coast, and I knew who the cutoff man was. Look, kids today, who do they look up to? I looked up to Kenny Lofton. I looked up to Mike Timlin.
Well, he was a good Christian guy.
Mike Timlin, post-game interview. I'd like to thank the Lord Jesus for putting the ball in my hand and for guiding my arm as it extended, and for doing a little spin with my middle finger and my thumb, which allowed it to spin out of the batters by the grace of God. reach of his bat. And that was strike one. God praise him.
let me get to strike two. Well, first there were 2 other balls before that. That was just God's will, and I just have to accept it.
He was able to fight off that 2-seamer which into the crowd, and by the grace of God, didn't harm any children who were born without any severe birth defects. Praise be.
Mike Timlin was the boss of a reliever, though. He was the boss of a setup man.
All right, so guys like Mike Timlin, I was able to look up to, and my Little League coach, guys like that who are real solid.
Your Little League coach, Mike Family Eddie.
Loyal listener. So, who are kids looking up to now? Justin Bieber? Donald Trump?
Why are kids looking up to Donald Trump? He's 69 years old.
Selena Gomez?
They were looking up to pop stars back 10 years ago, too. What are you talking about?
You think
Not to
baseball
the
was a
same
lot
extent.
better 10 years ago?
15 years ago.
10 years ago, baseball was a lot better.
It was a lot better.
20 years ago, it was a lot better.
No, it was. See, now Maddie's acknowledging that there's a problem.
Okay, no. Okay, wait. Baseball was better.
It's not because of baseball.
But not because of baseball, because of the people. America
and parenting.
and the children.
Okay, that's actually a legitimate point, I think. But
now we all just want to see people bash each other's brains
so
in.
what? We would have
in the NFL.
We the people, we the youths, the young men who still appreciate baseball and love baseball, would just see it die without trying to save it.
I watch a lot of games. I go to games.
Yeah, I know.
I was present last summer at Fenway Park one night in June.
Oh, when
Brett Lawrie, his bat broke, and I went spinning out just about 10 feet to my left, struck a woman in the face, and she was carried off on a cart. And
look it up, guys. It's a true story. It was pretty brutal.
It was very brutal.
Blood everywhere.
But that's baseball,
And yeah, that's baseball. And that's why her 4-year-old who was with her is not going to watch baseball ever again. But that's just baseball. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, no, that's unfortunate. And hopefully that doesn't ever happen in baseball again. But just go in there and being a part of it, that's baseball.
Look, I still say the whole experience of going to the park, at least for the most part, Fenway especially in my life, Fenway, which is a very special ballpark, we can all agree on that. It's the oldest, it's the best, it's the nicest, it's the coolest.
Absolutely.
The one with the most history.
Yeah.
I could keep going.
Second place is, let's see, Hanover.
Wrigley.
No, Hanover Insurance Park.
Holy Cross Stadium.
In Worcester, Mass.
Yeah,
Home of the Worcester Tornados.
No, that's where I'm going with it. They played at the College of Holy Cross, but the field is Hanover Insurance Park. So that's where I was going with Hanover Insurance. So, just quickly, to recap. Number 1 stadium in America in terms of history character, Fenway Park. Number 2, Hanover Insurance Park at the College of Holy Cross, home of the former Worcester Tornadoes. Number 3, probably Wrigley. And number 4, Marlins Park, the new the new business plan in Southeast Florida.
Showing us what $2 billion can buy.
All right. Anyway, so we don't want to lie to the viewers. We got to talk about the things that Maddie wanted to talk about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Before we run out of time.
But we don't have any sort of conclusion with this baseball thing.
Actually, the conclusion is that I am completely right, and it solves everything.
That could be an interesting plan to revitalize Major League Baseball.
Could be. I never disagree.
Look, cutting off a month off the season, and I don't even remember making the games earlier in the day, aren't going to revitalize baseball.
Making the game faster as well. Baseball games used to be 2.5 hours. Now they're 3.5.
No,
that's probably commercials.
Well, then get rid of commercials.
And you walk a lot more people, and they hit a lot more. Well, I think
it's a pitcher's time for baseball right now.
Well, aren't the games shorter now than they were 3 years ago?
3 years ago,
by like
they made
8 minutes. Or something.
By like 8 minutes. They made a distinctive effort, and they made new rules.
Made sure that basically what they made sure was the pitcher was ready to pitch when the commercials ended.
Yeah,
and it came back.
And they said you only get like 12 seconds in between pitches or whatever like that. So they're speeding up in between pitches.
But it's the commercials at the end of the day, and they're actually if the trends are correct, the commercials are going to be different, and there aren't going to be nearly as many commercials like on network television anymore because it's driving people to things like Netflix
HBO.
and Hulu, HBO, stuff like that, where you don't have to watch commercials.
Yeah.
And now that people have realized you don't have to watch commercials, it's actually really hard to watch commercials.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like you try desperately to flip to something else interesting when you're hit commercials.
And
in
I don't.
anything.
I don't even watch anything on network TV or something that has commercials unless it's sports. I don't watch anything like the day of anymore.
No, never.
I watch it the next day, and then
Game of Thrones.
Well, other than Game of Thrones, but there are no commercials in Game of Thrones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, like, if I'm watching Gotham or something, I'm not going to watch it Monday night when there's 22 minutes of commercials in this episode, and it's an hour-long episode, and there's 22 minutes of commercials. I'm not going to watch that. I'm going to watch it the next day when I can watch it on Hulu when there's a minute of commercials in between.
I don't even have any commercials because I pay $11 a month rather than like $7, and I don't get any commercials.
And
ever.
it's better. You don't get any commercials. It's better.
It is better.
Yeah, well,
and it's worth the $4 to me.
yeah, no one watches movies on TV that have commercials in them anymore.
No,
No.
absolutely.
Who's going to
not.
sit down and tune in?
This is a really intense part of the Return of the King. It's this battle scene. Here you have your.
Sham wow!
I was gonna
Shake weight!
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Slap chop!
And you know how on the movie,
Slap chop's
how
fun.
they probably still do this, but no one watches. At least no one that I know watches movies on TV anymore that have commercials, because you should just go to Netflix or some service
Totally.
or whatever and watch it online. But how they would have very few commercials at the beginning of the movie to suck you in, and then as you get
exactly.
towards the climax,
It just
they
happens.
just like throw 8 minutes of commercials right at you, and you forget what movie you're watching. You know?
Yeah. Then you switch, and you forget that you were watching, and you go to another channel.
But anyway, this was good, guys. This was fun. Thomas, what are we moving on to?
Sports in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's right. So we have the mayor of Las Vegas spoke up today, and she said that unless there's like a catastrophe and the deal that they've brokered completely falls through, that she is confident that the Oakland Raiders are going to move to Las Vegas. What do you think about having a professional football team, an NFL team, in Las Vegas?
I mean, in principle, I'm not against the matter because I believe in capitalism.
It's a big city.
It is a big city.
And they don't have any major sports.
I have no idea how big Oakland
A couple
is,
weeks
but-
ago, the owner of the Raiders also said that I don't know, maybe Matt, you mentioned this while I was away, but
The mayor. I was talking about the mayor of Las
oh
Vegas.
no, but the owner of the Raiders specifically said he wants to move the team to.
Well, obviously they've talked to each other. They're not just like making things up. They're not Donald Trumping it over here.
Actually, the owner of the Miami Marlins just said he's confident that he can. He hasn't talked to anybody about this. I'm just like thinking. I'm just talking while I think, and I think we can get this team over to London.
Good for them.
Tell your friends.
That's
Las
where
Vegas.
they sent what's his name, Hensel.
Mike
Kensel.
Kensel.
Yeah,
The
to
guy
go
who
make
made
sure
all
those
the
things
Deflategate
could
stuff.
happen.
Oh, nice. I see.
They moved him. Goodell moved him because he gets him away from subpoena power.
Wow.
But I don't know if I like the idea. Oakland is a really storied city. Well, franchise. Oakland is a storied franchise. And
But they were the LA
Oakland is
Raiders
San
not so long ago.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
not like they have all their history in Oakland.
true, but they have a lot of it there. And
They
didn't
were
they move there
Oakland,
with?
They were Oakland in John Madden's time, right? And then they moved to LA, and then they moved back to Oakland.
I don't know.
I don't think they were the LA
But-
Raiders with John Madden. Well, maybe they were.
I don't know.
Who knows?
But yeah, I mean, why not? Vegas is sweet. Except I don't know if I would
Except
be a
for the
fan of the
Raiders.
coach. I don't know if I was the coach, I'd be a fan of it.
Yeah, but wouldn't this be like when the Raiders are already kind of like a
They're like a Las
a
Vegas
bad
team.
guy team,
Yeah.
and they're like a
Although they're moving away from that with their young talent, like
Amari Cooper, Mac.
Khalil Mack, Amari Cooper, David Carr.
yeah. There's a lot of buzz
Derek
around
Carr.
the young.
David Carr sucks. Derek Carr.
There's a lot of buzz around the young Oakland team, but until they can win the AFC West, which
Which
is
they could this year.
Well,
they
considering
take a
that the
step
Broncos are led by none other than Mark Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez.
That's possible.
We'll see about the Chiefs. I mean, well, who knows what to expect from the Chiefs on any given year?
Well, the Chiefs aren't going to win any playoff games except unless they get the Houstons again or the Texans again in the first round.
But wouldn't that be awesome going to a football game in Las Vegas? Like you go out to Las Vegas, you're having a good time with like your bros or whatever, and then you're just like, let's go hit up a Raiders Patriots game.
Okay, that sounds awesome, but maybe for the same reason that we all hate and ridicule Florida sports fans, you would have it twice as bad in Las Vegas because everybody at the games is a weekend tourist.
That's what we were talking about. With
and then you don't have a hometown feel. You don't have a hometown crowd.
True.
And then
there has to be some people that live there, right?
Well, yeah, there's like over a million
600,000 people who live in residents of Las Vegas proper, like the actual city.
But none of them
probably the metropolitan area. There's
definitely over a million, and
who are permanent residents.
Right. And, I mean, you can't live that far away from Las Vegas because the area around it is desert. So you can't live that far outside of the city.
It's a desert and then a big light. And then more desert.
And then a black spot. The Las Vegas Raiders!
Oh, I was going for a black spot of morality. But
no, I was going with the new football team.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
All right, so interesting thought. We'll keep it. We'll see how the deal falls. We'll see when we'll let you know when the deal falls through and all that. But.
Falls through because this is not happening.
I mean, that's how you have to be. As a Stephen A. Smith or what's his name
Skip
on
Bayless.
first? Skip Bayless. Like, do I really have any idea whether Las Vegas is going to get a football team or not? I really have no idea. So, as a talking head, I just need to get an idea, say it loudly, and stick to it. Guarantee Las Vegas will not have a professional sports team in the next century.
Are you crazy?
Not a chance.
Are you crazy?
It has never had a team, and it will not for our lifetimes, maybe our children's. You want to argue with me? You're wrong.
That's totally first take.
Seriously.
But I will say this: Skip Bayless turned down a $4 million per year contract offer from ESPN to go to Fox Sports.
Good for him.
He hates ESPN now, apparently, as many people do.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're constantly losing their grip on the sports world, just the same way that Fox News is now losing its grip on cable television news. They for the first time in like 12 years, they've lost like the last 4 months straight to CNN.
That's because all they do is talk about Donald Trump.
Exactly.
People are sick of it. It worked at first.
And they don't realize that, people are sick of it, and he is not leading a united party by any means. Not even, maybe not even a majority of a party,
Yeah, exactly. We've talked a fair amount about this.
The next point, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, this isn't about the roster, but it's a little tangent on and a little microcosm of a bigger problem, which is the fear of bringing up political issues and political topics for fear of, starting too partisan a fight, and people can't talk because, politics is completely divisive. But originally, when the New Hampshire AA team was created, they were named the New Hampshire Primaries. Fun, right? Yeah. First in the nation primary. They had a logo, which was like a donkey and an elephant, and they both had baseball bats, and it was just so funny, and it was New Hampshire to the core, because that's why people know us. We were the first in the nation primary, and
Mount Washington.
And then came the protests. And everyone said, "Oh no, we can't mix politics and sports." This is not that this is like choosing any partisan.
It's just the
side of politics. It's not taking a position. It's
not even the primary. It's primaries. Like, which primary is it?
It's like people complaining about the Washington Senators. Like, oh man, you can't mix politics and baseball. You're completely diluting, the purity of the game with the dirty politics. So that's what they all said. That's what they all said in New Hampshire.
That's what the massholes
And the protests were so loud that they never played a season as the primaries, and then they did an online vote, and Fisher Cats was the winning team.
I will say Fisher Cats is a very small and aggressive
Meow.
Wolverine type animal. Kind of like a wolverine, and it's native to Maine and New Hampshire and the Northeast.
Yeah, well, can I also say that anytime you have something Cats as your team name,
and it better be the Wildcats.
no, anytime you have something Cats, guarantee it's a minor league team. The
true.
Buffalo Thundercats.
Thundercats! Ho!
The New Britain Rock Cats.
Oh my gosh,
Real
yeah.
team.
New Britain
You know,
Wildcats.
it's like cool. You know, or
Sea Dogs.
yeah, dogs is another
Dogs is
example.
another one.
Quarry dogs.
The Cory Dogs or the Sea Dogs. Oh gosh. The problem with the Portland Sea Dogs, the Red Sox AA team, which Tom wants to turn into a professional team.
Was that a jab over here?
No, I don't. I
It sounded awfully sarcastic.
Did I
Tom
ever?
wants to
Did
put
I
it in a
ever
professional
say?
team.
Did I ever express disapproval with your idea? Nay, good sir.
He just
I say
said
nay.
he just said your name with disdain,
Yeah.
which is common.
Which is more about you than
Which is the
Portland
status
Sea Dogs
quo.
or your idea. But no, the Sea Dogs. They're a Sea Dog is not a dog, but the Portland Sea Dogs logo is a dog with a baseball hat and a bat.
Yeah, but the dog has like a manatee tail or a fish tail. It's like a little sea. It's like a sea dog. I mean,
it's a seal.
that's
Seals
another-
are called the dogs of the sea.
yeah, it must be a seal. That's how you also know
I didn't know that.
that you're a minor league team is when you have a seal with a baseball bat. It's your logo.
Well, see, the minor league teams know because they can appeal to the youths because their ticket prices are way cheaper.
I'm trying to think of if there's any professional teams that are named after animals. I mean, in
Tigers.
baseball. I guess.
Yeah, but Tigers is not. It's not like Sea Dogs or Fisher Cats or Rock Cats. It's
Diamondbacks.
different. Dude, but Diamondbacks are cool.
Yeah.
And it's not like the rattlesnakes or the Arizona snakes.
The Tucson Snake Dogs. Here we go. The Las Vegas.
Tom's offended because we're making fun of the Sydney or the Melbourne sheepdogs. And he's upset because of his Australian heritage and all that.
Well, actually, how about this? If the Raiders do move to Las Vegas, should they change their
Hookers?
names to the? I was just gonna say maybe like the Las Vegas Raider Cats, or
Oh my God. What's a Raider cat?
the Las Vegas prostitutes.
The Las Vegas prostitutes. I wouldn't be opposed. I'm sure there would be outrage. Tom, say what you need to say.
I'm just saying we got to wind down here because we're actually running out of space. It's like if we go too long, I can't upload it.
Wait.
Wow, we're really firing through the
longer
topics
than
here.
usual right now?
No, I just forgot to change the setting.
Oh, okay.
We're at its 47 minutes.
So this isn't our fault. It's your fault.
We're at 47 minutes, which is
so
long.
we should be wrapping up.
So to clarify for the people, those of you who are itching to know, the Las Vegas, jumping the gun, the Oakland Raiders were in Oakland for their first two championships. Then they moved to Los Angeles in 1983.
After John Madden.
They won their third. They won their third Super Bowl title in Los Angeles and moved back to Oakland in 1995.
Okay.
Good times.
And they will not be moving to Las Vegas within our lifetime.
Why is it that these teams keep moving away from L.A.? The Rams moved away from L.A. in 92. The Raiders moved away from L.A. in 95.
This time it'll work,
And now
Danny.
they're like, we could go back and make it work.
This time it'll work.
now that the population is even more diverse.
Well, they're enticed by the second largest city in America.
Yeah,
I mean,
of
that
course,
looks like a
but-
big fan base, but it just never works
It's
out.
going to be
It's
worse than San Diego, where 40% of the fans are not your own. I mean, come on. LA is going to be 50 to 60% of the fans are not your own fans. Ugh.
It's because people in Los Angeles aren't good old East Coast salt of the earth people. They're over there and they're just, they're not worshiping.
They're just smoking their weed and they're making their movies.
They're not worshiping the good old folks like Don Mattingly and Goose Gossage,
Joe DiMaggio.
the good, the good, the real people.
The Carlton Fisks and the Carl Yastrzemskis of the world.
Yeah, they're looking at their Justin Biebers and their.
They've got these celebrity glasses on.
We're going to like the Sarah,
It's true.
the Sarah Palin wholesome voice.
Oh yeah,
I got
all
an
these
idea.
celebrities out there.
I got an idea. Let's make Arnold Schwarzenegger governor. That'd be sweet.
Sweet. Hey man, Arnold. I can't blame Arnold for that at all.
Oh.
Arnold's like,
Our
sure. You want to elect me as a governor? Sure. I'll take it.
Oh no, our football team's moving. Oh well.
That's okay. We'll just have the Angels change their name from Anaheim to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
That's a huge money move.
Yeah, seriously. Oh gosh. At least the Anaheim Ducks are still on board. Anaheim gets a bad rap.
It does.
But it's a magical place.
Full of Disney wonder. Anyway.
Sorry, Tom, we get to wrap up.
Yeah, we need to. Otherwise,
We had to
we'll
wrap
have
up
to.
15 minutes ago. Yeah, sorry, Tom.
Well, it's no need to apologize. We're at 50 minutes. We should probably wrap up, and that's what we're going to do.
All right,
Quickly.
mother.
Yeah. If you guys want to hear some more, just send an email to the bro chat, and I'll give you a personal call and just tell you everything that's on my mind. I just need someone to talk. I need someone to talk
I might
to.
email you back, but I'm not going to call you. Fuck that. All right,
guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you on Thursday. Well, that's going to be a rough one.
Live from the bachelor party.
Remember, share us with your friends and everything. It's cool. We'll still like you, even if you don't, maybe. Anyway, we love you, Colby.
We love you, Colby.
Keep listening to us, Colby.
We enjoy making your work, vacation, or baby day that much more pleasurable.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
Peace.